Hello, everyone, and welcome to Full Time, where we take you around the world of soccer, locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. The Full Time podcast is presented and powered by 91 Network. You're listening to Season 5, Episode 30 of Full Time. I'm your host, Daniel Scarpino, and with me is our co host, Gitano Gallo. Before we begin today's show, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. The Full Time Podcast is sponsored by Little Caesars Pizza. With their two locations in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, you can download and access the Pizza Portal app so you can enjoy a delicious hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars today. The Full Time Podcast is also sponsored by Sioux Sports. To check out Sioux Sports and all of their articles, announcements, and streaming platforms, including True Host Media and True North Radio, visit siouxsports.com, as well as Sioux Sports TV on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We remind our listeners that recordings of Full Time occur weekly or bi-weekly, and uploads to all of our platforms for public viewing and listening occur weekly or bi-weekly as well. Folks, we are delighted to have you with us here on Full Time, and we hope that you are all well. We are here together for this final time in Season 5 here on Full Time. This is incidentally our 80th episode together on the show. How are you this evening, my friend?
I'm doing good. You did nutmeg me last week when we played, so that's always a positive. But yeah, it's weird that this is the last episode of season 5. I was still living with my parents when we started this season, so kind of to look back at the 30 episode kind of length of this season's been incredible. So thank you for having me with you for it. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, without doubt, man, the journey has been long, but certainly worthwhile. And as we always say, the journey is just beginning. We still have a long road ahead of us, and it all starts with our show here this evening. In tonight's show, we will discuss the Champions League final, the Conference League final, and regional as well as provincial soccer. As always, if anyone would like to listen to our previous content, please check us out at Full Time on all platforms of 91 Network. And without further ado, Gitano, and to everyone who has taken the time to tune in here today for the final time in Season 5, let's kick off. We get today's show started with taking a look back at the Champions League final. The final was contested this past Saturday, May 31st, between PSG and Inter. A final that was much anticipated and longed for by footballing fans across the globe would turn an unusual result. A quick start from PSG saw them create chance after chance through waves of constant pressing, which led to possession of the ball in Inter's half. 2 goals in the opening 20 minutes for PSG felt like so much more going into the halftime interval for the way in which the opening 45 minutes were dominated by PSG. Not resting on their first half laurels, the foot remained on the gas for PSG, and they would utterly and completely control the game en route to scoring another 3 goals in the second half, hardly ever being tested by Inter. An on-field performance in a Champions League final that would mark the largest margin of victory for a team ever in the competition's history sees PSG win their first ever Champions League final by a score of 5-0 over their opponents, Inter. Gitano, I don't want to overstep. I don't want to speak out of turn or over the top, but the performance from PSG was nothing short of brilliant, in my opinion. And as far as I'm concerned, they were nearly flawless in the game. A 5-star performance, if you want to call it that. As mentioned, this was the largest margin of victory ever in a Champions League final. The previous record was held by AC Milan beating Barcelona in 1994 by a score of 4-0. I'll pass it off to you here, Gitano, but it also needs to be said that by the numbers, PSG are the youngest team, or were the youngest team in the competition. Inter Milan were the oldest team in the competition. So experience did not beat youth, and quite frankly, Inter Milan just did not show up. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to look past that performance. I don't really care who you put against that PSG team if they're going to play like that. They were going to steamroll pretty much everyone. Like the discussion I was seeing mostly online was more like, would they beat La Decima Real Madrid team, Man City's treble team, the Barcelona sextuple team. Like that's the category and the company that this PSG team kind of is in now, considering that performance in the final. Yeah, I really don't care who you would have put in front of them. I think they would have put 3 or 4 or 5 past pretty much anyone in Europe at this point. Yeah, Inter just, I don't want to say Inter didn't show up. I think they tried, and they just PSG had answers for everything. Only gave up 0.49 expected goals. So basically, that PSG backline didn't really do much all game. That's probably one of the easiest in terms of like an important game, probably the easiest of Gigi Donnarumma's life.
Yeah.
Didn't touch the ball much, didn't have to do much. But yeah, just complete, total, utter dominance from PSG. Um, like, there's really not much more to say. The scoreline pretty much speaks for itself.
I would say so. And I do recall watching the game that Donnarumma made a save late in the match, and the commentators kind of made like a sort of cheeky backhanded compliment that it was the first time that they had mentioned his name all game. So, kind of to that point, it was it was pure dominance by PSG. I hadn't seen anything like it in a Champions League final ever. And I agree with your point. I don't really care this season or maybe even in the past who you would have put up against them. That's probably a win for PSG given the way that they played. And again, not an experienced team, but that youth, man, they ran that game, and tactically, Enrique had answers to absolutely everything. To your point, it was a sublime performance on behalf of PSG. And surely now, Gitano, it is going to be time for major shakeups in the Inter camp. It's announced today that Inzaghi is leaving for, I believe, Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. So beyond the manager going out the door, do you think that there's going to be some big shakeups in the Inter Milan camp?
Yeah, I think there just kind of has to be given the age of that squad. I think this is probably the end of like that group's window. Um, Especially with just how competitive Serie A is alone. Like, not even just talking Europe, just Serie A in itself. The amount of retooling that squad is going to need, considering the kind of age profile right now, it's going to need a little bit. Plus, you're going to have a new manager coming in with new ideas, a new system potentially. So yeah, I think for all intents and purposes, like the window is shut for this AC or for this Inter Milan team.
I think so too. It's time to turn the page and go to the next chapter. But probably who isn't going to be going to the next chapter, Gitano, is this PSG team. Would you say that it is possible that this young, amazing squad can stick together for years to come? And if so, what does that spell for the future for everybody else in European competition?
Yeah, so from like the footballing side, like why would you leave you're always going to win the like League One, you're going to probably always win your French Cup. The goal is always to be kind of competing at least in the quarter semifinals of the Champions League. Um, so there's really kind of in terms of footballing no reason to leave at this point. But on the business side of it, like PSG are one of the teams that is they're going to pay you the highest wages. If teams want a player from this PSG team, they're going to have to pay a premium on top of a premium to pry them away because they're so young. So I really don't see this team kind of fading anytime soon. The scary thing is, Scarps, is we talk about kind of youth versus experience. Well, now they are youth with experience. They've been there, they've done there, they've climbed the mountain. Um, Scary times ahead.
Yeah, I would say so, man. An unbelievable side, and for years to come, should they stick together, if they stick together, likely that they will stick together. It's going to be a tough go for everybody else going up against them in the Champions League. It was an unthinkable scoreline, but the final did not deceive our eyes. 5-0, and PSG are your Champions League winners for 2025. In another European competition, it was the Conference League that has its champion crowned as well, and we will review that game for you all here and now. It was Real Betis who took on Chelsea in the Conference League final, both teams trying to win the coveted European trophy and end their season on a high. Irrespective of this trophy, however, Chelsea has qualified for Champions League football next season through their Premier League position, and Real Betis are playing in the Europa League next season thanks to their position in La Liga. So this game truly was just for the trophy itself and a bit of pride. A quick start from Real Betis would see them go up by 1-0 in under 10 minutes into the game. They would hold on to that lead until halftime. In the second half, tactical adjustments and a newly awoken Chelsea would see them put 4 goals past Betis, which would take them all the way to a 4-1 victory and the claim of the Conference League champions. Gitano, kind of a tale of two halves, really, in this final here, but Chelsea get it done with 45 minutes of excellent work in that second half. Your analysis and your opinions on this match, sir.
Yeah, the game kind of played out half how I thought it was going to and half how you thought it was going to. Where Chelsea for the first half really weren't doing much. It felt like they were just kind of coasting, and maybe like just not at their best at all. Kind of what we had seen from them for most of the Premier League season, just like not quite. Nothing was quite clicking. Everything was just a little scattered. And Real Betis took advantage of that early goal. Whereas in the second half, it feels like Chelsea remembered, oh yeah, like we're actually like Premier League footballers who are quite good at playing soccer. And they kind of all kind of clicked for them. Enzo Fernandez had a fantastic second half. I think he had a goal and 2 assists, if I'm correct. Just incredible performance from him. I know it's the Conference League final, but that's what you pay like 100 million euros for if you're Chelsea. Like to be able to turn that switch on and change a game like that was extremely impressive. And yeah, kind of ended up being I don't want to say lackluster, but a little less dramatic final than we were maybe hoping for because Chelsea got all those late goals to kind of put the game to bed. But yeah, really like this is your perfect example of a game of two halves.
Yeah, exactly. If you had to define it that way, this is the perfect example of it. But Chelsea, I would say, deserved winners for that work that they did put in the second half, the adjustments that they made, and ultimately the football that they played. And with that, all European Cup competitions are done for yet another season. G, an absolute blast, my friend, covering all three of these European competitions with you, sir. Can't wait to do it all again next season.
Absolutely, and hopefully next year's finals are a little better. We're I think just not as maybe captivating and thrilling. We're maybe hoping for like some tighter games. Obviously, PSG like that performance itself is like Hall of Fame worthy. That was incredible. But I feel like the other two finals could have used a little more, tension, a little bit more quality, just for as a neutral watching it. Obviously, like I'm not, and I can't be picky about that. But hopefully next season's finals are a little more nail biting, a little more tense for the neutral viewer.
I would certainly like that, unless, of course, if Arsenal are it, I'll take a five. I'll have that no problem. My nerves,
Just
but
as long as you're on the right side of it.
that's exactly right. We've got to get there first, mind you. But that is all for European competitions this season, G. And like I said, we will do it all again very, very soon. And now it is time for a regional and provincial soccer update. The regional competition for high school soccer, classed as NASA, took place this past weekend, and in the three main regions of Northern Ontario, being North Bay, Sudbury, and right here, of course, in Sault Ste. Marie. The Sioux had 7 participating teams in NASA across the region, 2 coming out as winners, and the other grabbing a second place. The junior boys of Cora won their NASA competition, winning the final on penalty kicks. This completes a treble season for them, winning the league, playoffs, and NASA going undefeated the entire way. The St. Mary's Senior Girls also completed a treble winning season as they claimed the league, playoff, and now NASA title. They will be heading to OFSA this week. The Superior Heights Senior Boys advanced to their NASA final only to lose by a score of 1-0. Nevertheless, Superior Heights will still qualify for OFSA by reaching the regional final. Gitano, there were a total of 7 trophies up for grabs at NASA between all divisions, and there were a total of 6 OFSA places, on the line. The Sioux claims 2 out of 7 trophies and 2 out of 6 OFSA places. A pretty remarkable performance all around coming out of the region here for Sault Ste. Marie High School Soccer. Your thoughts on that, sir?
Yeah, well, first of all, like shout out Chorus Junior Boys and Mary Senior Girls on trebles. That's just like stupidly impressive, especially the Cora Boys going undefeated. That's a ridiculous accomplishment for them. That'll be remembered in that school for years and years to come. Also, shout out St. Mary's Girls because they're going to OFSA, right? So they're going for
Also,
the
also undefeated too, by the way.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Also undefeated again. That is silly, an undefeated treble,
yeah.
especially given the circumstance of the season. But also they're pushing for the quadruple.
Could happen, man.
Could happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's to claim 2 of the 7 trophies and 2 of the 6 spots is just it's huge for the Sioux. It's we don't have the biggest population in the region. We don't have maybe the best facilities and access to facilities. But it just proves that the people, the kids here, the coaches, everyone involved is just like top tier. It's extremely impressive, and I'm oddly proud to be from the Sioux, given that achievement.
No doubt. And just for the football that was here, I was basically there for every single kick of the ball this past weekend, whether I was reffing or simply watching. And I have to say, I was actually really impressed with the quality of football that was on display from the teams here locally and the teams from out of town as well. And of course, with Cora Junior Boys winning that undefeated treble, St. Mary Senior Girls doing that as well. Superior Heights has a really cool story as well. They lose the city final to Cora. They then go and play Cora in the semifinal of NASA, beat them, get to the final. Of course, lost 1-0, but put up one heck of a fight. So they're going to OFSA as well. So a really cool story there as well. And now the focus will shift for the senior divisions to the prestigious OFSA competition. As mentioned, the St. Mary Senior Girls will head to OFSA this week to compete at the Provincial Championship Tournament in Kingston, Ontario. Superior Heights' senior boys team will also head to the Provincial OFSA tournament this week, and that is also ironically hosted in Kingston, Ontario. Both of these teams will have the biggest and best opportunity to represent their school and their city at this prestigious competition against the best of the best in the province. What can you say that this opportunity means to the players, the coaches, the schools, as well as our soccer community at large?
Yeah, I mean, like I was talking about the trebles, like if you go and pull off a quadruple, like that is against the best in the city, the region, and the province. Like that is like it, for that level of soccer, like, you just can't get any better than that. Like the next best thing would be what, like playing university soccer, and then like what
Well, and
CPL. Like
that's that's it.
that's what I mean. Like that's like the it's an incredible level to even have the potential to pull off that achievement. That in itself is incredibly impressive. But I'm sure that no matter how they perform at those tournaments, like that is just um, they will be doing themselves, their school, the city so proud. Um, I hope they both pull it off. I hope they both go undefeated. I'm knocking on wood, by the way, as I'm saying this. I hope they just crush everyone like PSG. Like, just it would be so incredible for teams from the Sioux to go to those competitions and win them. And then, it would be massive for our soccer community as a whole to know that, hey, like all of the grassroots stuff they were doing, all the hours at Tom Tipton and at Strathclair, and all of those hours, all of that time that everyone in the whole system kind of commits to is paying off with. And I'm not that trophies are everything and like the only thing, but to kind of have like the emotional joy of like their success, but then also having a nice shiny trophy to show off at the end of it would just be like the icing on the cake.
I'm sure for both teams, if that was put in the display case, that'd be something that they'd be eyeing up, not just for the rest of this year, but certainly for eternity. And, it has to be said, and there's no hiding it. No Sioux team has ever won OFSA soccer, but it is absolutely possible. And the fact that we have two teams going from the Sioux to represent us and have basically a chance to do it, anything is possible. So we'll certainly be keeping our fingers crossed. But I do like the point you made, just the mere fact that they got there, how proud that they all must be, the players, the coaches, the school, and everybody in the soccer community, quite frankly. So the provincial OFSA competition, Gitano, like I said, it will be hosted in Kingston, Ontario from June 5th to 7th. And in our next episode of Full Time, we will take you through the results from our two local teams attending and competing in the tournament. Best of luck to both teams. The entire soccer community here in the Sioux, as well as both of us here at Full Time, are completely behind you. This is Daniel Scarpino and Gitano Gallo, and you're listening to the Full Time Podcast on 91 Network. A reminder that Full Time is sponsored by Little Caesars Pizza and Sioux Sports. Check out the Pizza Portal app for a quicker, easier way to get your next hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. And be sure to check out Sioux Sports at siouxsports.com, as well as Sioux Sports TV on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Full Time. As we wrap up today's show, we want to thank you for being with us today and all season long. Your support means everything. A great job tonight to cap off season 5, my friend. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Well done to you as well. It's been a hell of a season, a long season. Like I said, I wasn't in this office when the season started. I didn't like none of this was here, so it's been a hell of a season, and it's just been an absolute privilege to cover it with you. And I can't wait for next season.
An honor and a privilege indeed, and we won't have to wait long for our next season to start because that'll be next week. A reminder to our listeners that the next episode of Full Time will be recorded the week of June 9th, 2025. This will be our first episode of Season 6 for Full Time. In that show, we will preview the Club World Cup. We will we will take a look. We won't aim. We will take a look in the summer transfer window. So an initial look there as it's open for 1 week. And we will provide a final high school soccer update at provincial level. As always, we'll keep everyone in the loop with all the happenings in the world of football. For weekly content, make sure to hit like, follow, and subscribe to all platforms on 91 Network, as on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Podbean, and Spaces at sutoday.com. For Gitano Gallo, my name is Daniel Scarpino, and thank you for tuning in to Full Time. We look forward to seeing you at kickoff next time back here on the Full Time Podcast and 91 Network. Best always.